So today we're looking at the lunar eclipse on November 8th. The lunar eclipse occurs in Taurus. It's at 16 degrees of Taurus, and this full moon and this lunar eclipse is conjunct Uranus. So this alone is going to bring in spontaneous action, individuality, and even some rebellion. So in opposition to the moon and Uranus, we have Mercury and Venus sitting right there with the sun. So both Mercury and Venus, they're both hovering right around the sun. They're both right around their reset time of their phase, both around their Cazimi moment where they can join the sun. Mercury is right there at this moment. So what does this all mean? Mercury and Venus, they're both being activated by Uranus right now in a pretty fierce way. Uranus is the planet that challenges other things. It challenges us to see what needs to be created new and what we need to get rid of. And it can do so rather quickly and rather suddenly. So Uranus is challenging us to bring out our deepest Venusian qualities right now. These are all that we love, all that we desire, all that we cherish, and all that we lay value on. These are all of the things that we love and honor and appreciate, all of the beauty in life. So with Uranus right there, it's challenging us to see what Venusian qualities we are holding back, what desires, what values, what desires and what do we want that we're holding in deeply. We need to let that out. What desires do you have that you are not honoring? With Mercury there, what do you need to communicate? What thought patterns are not working for you anymore? What do you need to change in your mind or in the way that you communicate with others to make yourself feel more fulfilled and to let out your true self? So when Uranus comes around, you absolutely cannot ignore it. You cannot suppress and you cannot stuff down what needs to be released when Uranus is around. If you do, you're going to end up with an explosion. Things are going to be much more dramatic and the outcome's going to be much more drastic. So with Uranus opposite Venus and Mercury, we really need to honor our desires and honor our wants and our needs. We still need to be careful not to do this in an overboard way. Uranus can definitely be action without thinking, so you want to make sure you're not going overboard and you're not giving into too much of the desires and having too much fun. But I also want to point out that we have Saturn sitting at the midpoint of this opposition. So with Saturn also as a player here, you can expect these patterns, these Venusian qualities to either be restricted, or we can set new long-term foundations for new patterns and new enjoyments. And we can set intentions of longevity for fulfilling our Venusian wants and our Venusian needs. So those desires that you've been holding back, those thoughts and those words that you've been holding back, it's time for them to come out. Make sure you're doing so in a positive way. We always need to be mindful, always need to be conscious, but you cannot suppress your Venusian and your mercurial characteristics completely. So I do think it's also important to point out that we have the US midterm elections on the same day as the eclipse. And this Venus-Uranus opposition during the eclipse, with reproductive rights being a huge topic of discussion during this election, I think we can say that there's definitely going to be a huge turnout at this election this year. and there could be a turning point. That is not making any sort of predictions. That is just saying what is in the stars and what the energies are telling us that we are. I've been saying it for a while, we are at a crossroads. And I keep hearing a lot of people talking about being anxious and having anxiety with the energy surrounding this eclipse. And I kind of wonder if you're feeling anxious as well. I see this as a physical manifestation of these desires and the Venus within us that is trying to escape, that we are repressing. And I see it coming out, trying to come out in a physical way. So if you're not honoring that, she's still going to try to come out, and it might come out as anxiety, or it might come out as worry, it might come out as fear, it might come out in a negative type of way. So the Venus inside you, she's trying to come out. She is ready to show herself, and she's ready to show her individuality, and she's ready to show what she has to shine. And as long as you are mindful of it, it doesn't have to be extreme, but it could be if that's you and that's what you want to do. So with this eclipse, I want you to focus your energy on Venus, on the Venusian qualities of your life. And this has nothing to do with being male or being female. We all have balance of masculine and feminine energy within us. So what does Venusian energy mean to you? What does Venus mean to you? And think about that, and think about where you can get a little bit more in touch and a little deeper in your communication with Venus. Okay, so where can you get a little more in touch? This is a lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipses focus more inwardly on ourselves, where a solar eclipse focus is more outward. So right now we're focusing more inward. And the sun right now, the sun, Mercury, and Venus, they are all in Scorpio. Scorpio is a very deep sign, a very emotional sign. So deep that it gets us into the depths of our subconscious. So with these planets being in Scorpio and with this opposition going on, it's time to go deep. It's time to go within yourself and see what there is to pull up. What is it that Uranus is trying to bring forth? Where do you need to be spontaneous? Where do you need to show your individuality? Do you need to be a little bit rebellious within reason? We don't want to be destructive, but we want to be true to ourselves. So that's what I have to say about this eclipse. I do want to mention my live session that I will be doing I do them every Tuesday on YouTube and Facebook. We have a healing meditation that we do, and we will be doing one on the day of the eclipse. So on November 8th at 8:30 p.m. you can find me live on Facebook or YouTube page, and I hope to see you there.